Today I will be discussing the hearts in Breath of the Wild because honestly, not much has been discussed about that. With the new game, well, obviously we see that Nintendo is looking to break a lot of Zelda conventions, like food replacing hearts. But no one's really said anything about like food might replace heart containers and fairies. As you guys know, there's like lots of type of food that will make temporary yellow hearts, right? That will deplete or go away once you take damage. That's making it very possible that we won't be seeing heart containers in Breath of the Wild. It's kind of strange, though, to think that we would only have 3 permanent red hearts the whole time, but it is possible, and it could possibly make the game even harder, because then, like, once your hearts go down, you can't just drink a potion and get all your hearts back or use something, a fairy, you know? Instead, you're going to have to eat food and then maybe use a potion. Well, not potion, elixir.
Yeah.
And then
they made it very confusing in this game, whether it's like potions or mixed ingredients, whatever it is, like...
Yeah. What we know is that maybe like at the end of some trials, we will get like some type of heart container that is not necessarily one, but is kind of the same, and we can get it alongside the spirit orb, and it'll fill up that empty space. But I'm not quite sure. What do you guys think? Are we going to be seeing fairies or heart containers or heart pieces?
Yeah,
Here's what I think.
You can go first on this one, Joey.
All right. Here's what I think. I don't think any of us know anything about how that's even going to work. I assumed from the very start that your hearts were going to be, like, you're going to get more than 3 hearts. Definitely, I know they're going to do that. But how you get them, I just assumed, okay, so the more armor you get, the more hearts you get. But Meg, you brought up a great...
RPG fashion.
Exactly. But Meg, you brought up a great point that there could be more spirit orbs, or maybe there could be heart pieces to refill your hearts. This is so strange we're talking about this, because we're getting all this grass to cut, and there's not going to be anything in that freaking grass anymore.
No hearts.
So I'm pissed, right? So
I swear, though, one time I was watching a video of E3 gameplay, and I saw someone smash a pot, and an apple came out.
That makes sense. That's where I hide all my apples.
Oh man, so
I don't know
strange.
if that was already talked about or not, but I saw that. I can't find the video again.
Yeah,
so
this brings up something that a lot of people noticed in some of the Breath of the Wild footage, is that Nintendo clearly said that while you're out in the wild, you're not going to be able to typically find rupees or heart pieces or anything like that. But there has been videos of people defeating certain enemies or coming across like a hidden rupee out in the middle of nowhere. Like, I think there was 1 rupee somebody found close to where the Temple of Time is. Maybe there isn't going to be heart pieces lying around, but like the fact that there were rupees laying around in the wild, maybe that's something that they still have to fix while they're working on the game, and it won't be in the final version. But who knows, maybe like they are there, they're just kind of rare to find. But
super rare.
Yeah. To let you finish going on what you were talking about, Joey.
So I forgot where I was going with this, but you know, it's nuts. It's still nuts that we're talking about. This is definite affirmative that we're saying the word conventions a lot, right? And I always thought a convention was someplace where you get dressed up and you could, as your favorite character, and you just hang out with a bunch of nerds. But they are changing so many conventions of this game to the point where it doesn't even necessarily feel like a Zelda game anymore, and I completely don't mind that at all. I'm all for change and whatnot, but back to the hearts. Hearts. I don't think we're going to see any hearts that we can collect.
Right.
Heart pieces, maybe, but I'm not quite sure about...
What about fairies?
Maybe fairies. I see fairies possibly happening. Totally.
I see fairies being a definite possibilities. And this is actually a really good question because you're able to create these temporary hearts depending on what food you use. And in terms of permanent hearts, maybe in Zelda games, like whenever there's like a collectathon, whether it's the gold Skulltulas or the Mai in A Link Between Worlds, typically in a Zelda game, there's stuff that you need to collect, whether it's like 100 or however many. And in this game, I look at these 100 shrines being something that if you beat 10 of them, maybe instead of just getting that 10th hero orb or spirit orb or whatever, you get something with it. Maybe you get that heart piece that comes with it, and then when you get 20 or 50, you get more and more. Or it could be that the actual dungeons in this game, once you beat a boss, you get your typical heart piece after beating that boss. So maybe that's going to be a way that you get permanent heart pieces, and then it could go back to what Joey was talking about with armor upgrades and stuff, because in the trailer, in none of the gameplay we seen in D3, we never seen this, but we did see it for a few seconds in the trailer, where Link has the more traditional armor on him. And maybe that's a way that, since it is giving you more protection, it's either doubling the damage that those 3 hearts that you have can take, or it's synthetically adding 3 more hearts to you. Like, I really don't know how that could be. Or
Here's my theory. When you finally get the hero's tunic, it's gonna give you all the hearts you need. That would be so sick. How do you get the
hero's tunic?
Yes, the green freaking tunic that we haven't even seen yet.
Yeah.
Do we think it's gonna be in it? I hope it's gonna be in it. I won't mind if it's never in it. But it's just like the final episode of Daredevil season 1 when he finally has the suit. It's just so exciting.
Yeah, my thoughts on the hero's tunic, which again we can probably go more in depth in a future episode because this is something everyone always wants to talk about. But just really quick, my thoughts on the hero tunic is it's the hero's tunic, and the Sheikah inside the shrines are always saying that like they've been waiting for the hero to return or whatever. So maybe after you collect all 100, that's when you get because you're collecting the 100 spirit orbs. Maybe then after you collect all 100, you get the spirit of the hero or whatever, like in Twilight Princess, whenever you're talking to the first light beast, he says something about you having the spirit of the hero inside you, and then he gives you the green tunic. Maybe it's the same in this, where if you collect all 100 pieces of the spirit orbs, you have the spirit of the hero inside you, and you've proven that by collecting them. So then you get blessed with the hero's tunic, and I think it'll give you like the best of everything. Like you need a heavy warm tunic in order to go in the snowy areas. You need probably something like a red tunic or the Goron's tunic to go inside Death Mountain or whatever Breath of the Wild's version of this is, and then you can only sprint for so long unless you drink certain elixirs or eat certain foods. Maybe the green tunic will give you all that. You can go wherever you want. You can run for as long as you want. You don't run out of stamina. You don't get too hot. You can breathe underwater. You can go to the top of icy mountains and nothing bothers you.
What if you can only defeat Ganon if you have the hero's tunic?
It kind of goes against
everything, because they're like, you can go straight to the castle right away.
Well, they said
doesn't mean you're gonna fucking win. Yeah.
You're gonna lose.
That's
right away.
What no one really thinks about it. Whenever they said that, like I think Ainuma or whoever said it said something like, if you're a really good player, then you can beat Ganondorf or Ganon.
I mean, and first of all, you still have to descend from the Great Plateau, and you're not going to do that climbing down. So
yeah, they've already said you can't just simply climb down. Like so, no. Right there, you can't head straight for Calamity Ganon to try to defeat him, because if you try to jump off, you'll die. If you try to climb down, it's too slick. You'll end up falling. So you need to get the paraglider. And how do you get the paraglider? Not by running straight to Calamity Ganon, but you have to go off and do these 4 shrines or whatever, and then you get the paraglider, and then you can go down. So it's like,
you know what? I feel really bad for speedrunners. They're gonna have a hard time.
They'll find a glitch or 2 or something. That's the only way they know how to win.
They'll pick a rock up and suddenly warp to the end credits.
They'll pick a rock up, try to start climbing, and then just jump in between 2 tiny little crevices, and then the game will glitch out to the final boss or something. I don't know.
Yeah, but I mean, with Calamity Ganon, if you could go straight to him, I imagine that would be like having one person in your party playing Final Fantasy VII and then going straight to the main fight with Sephiroth at the very end. It's like,
Jesus Christ,
you can get there, and if by some miracle you are able to beat him, then yes, you can. But typically, you're going to get one hit killed every single time.
I'm still playing Final Fantasy VII. I never beat that game.
Here in a few years, you're going to be playing it again.
I know, right? But it's going to be totally different.
Yeah, it's going to be the game that you wanted, but different.
Totally.
If you're a fan of interviews like this or my other discussion and theory videos, please consider becoming a Patreon at patreon.com/GameOverJesse, where you can help me continue making these videos and get all kinds of awesome stuff at the same time, like co-hosting one of these interviews or joining me on a discussion or theory, suggesting topics for theories, discussions, and interviews, suggesting who to have on as guests, and much more.